Hi, I'm Cindy with the Port Huron Recreation Department, and this is Spooky Castle Art. I'll be doing a castle, and we're going to embellish it a little bit. All right, here we go. Okay, so this is the Spooky Castle. We're going to, this is the base. Well, this is the first story of the house, this castle. And it's basically, you can see it's made out of toilet paper rolls. And this is the base of it. And I just painted it cardboard, piece of cardboard, black. I did on both sides just in case something happened and I needed to flip it over. You could do two sides if you wanted to do it for two different holidays maybe, or two different themes. So you could do, like I did, lava looking like a stream, and this is just popsicle sticks that I glued together and painted brown for a little bridge, drawbridge. And I drew, I made the ground all black because it was like charred, like a fire would have taken over. And we've got a lot of fires going on right now, so I could imagine this might be something going on. I added little bushes. You could just kind of get a feel for the doom and gloom of the Halloween theme here. Then I did, let's see, I drew on here, made these little designs on here, little bricks, or actually stones, and vines, a little lantern. I colored the door, I painted it brown, and then I just did all the little accents in the silver Sharpie. And I did do a little bit inside of here with a little bit of dry brush with old paint on there, and just kind of smudged it a little bit so that you could see inside, and it looked like an old wall. And I just hot glued them all together right in the seams. And let's see, then I made a top for it. So this is like the floor of the first story. And you can get the idea that the bottom is here. Then the bottom of the castle. And then the floor of the second story. And then we're going to be working on, sorry, that was the first story. This is the second story. And basically you're seeing the top of this, and it looks actually like that. And I painted everything ahead of time because you probably don't want to sit here and watch me paint all day. This one, I just added a little red and yellow in there, kind of like my stream. And that, I have little tea lights that I'm going to put inside of here too. Go like that. And then the next story, and then in here you can see the tea light that way too if I have it turned on. Like that. So that gives you an idea of what we're doing here. Oh, and I painted the edges of this cardboard. Again, I just took a dry brush. Well, it was wet, but I didn't get any water on it, just paint. And I kind of scrubbed it in there just to get it to where it doesn't look so raw, the edge. This is the piece I cut it out of, and you can see the side is still brown. So I just took the brush and went right in there and got the paint right inside. And this is just regular cardboard. It's actually, this one's not as sturdy either. It's kind of flimsy, but it was packing from some box I had and just using it. Popsicle sticks you can probably get for $1 over at the dollar store. And could probably get some variation of a Sharpie over there too that's silver. And paint over there too. So basically I had black and brown, and I added a little yellow there, and then a little yellow and red over here. So those are the colors that I used. And then I used a black Sharpie just to do the little door after I painted the brown door, the brown part on the door, to add that little window there. Oh, and the lines in the wood. Just minor details. So the first one we're going to do is this little guy with the crown looking, I don't know what this is called, not a spire, because this is the spire. Well, this is actually the roof, but it's like a spire. Anyway, so what I did for this is I went and painted the inside of these guys too, so when you cut and fold it down, they're actually black and you don't have to worry about it later. Got these pretty sturdy scissors. They're usually like $1 at Harbor Freight even, or maybe even less money than that. I cut to about here on the scissor blade and just squeeze it, and then just go across from it. Do it again. And then go on the quarter, so it's across, across, and then a quarter. You don't have to be exact, but it was easy to just fold everything down. And then go in between each cut. Just get close as you can to an idea of it. One more. They're not going to be perfect. That's okay. Fold down every other one. Just tuck it in. And if you don't like the edges being brown like that, you can always take black paint to it and cover that up. So that's what that looks like. Then to make this hole, all you do is kind of try to guesstimate, like, so you can match them up, kind of where you left the other one. So it's about right there. I'm gonna line that up with this too. So I'm gonna just kind of fold this in half. Again, doesn't have to be exact. And right about there. And this was about the same. I cut it about, it's probably about 3/8 of an inch. So if you do it one size, just keep doing it the same size each time, the same cut if you can. And then I cut this one up here, started it from the top. So I started cutting, and then I just met this line right here where it stopped before. Like that. And there's your window. The upstairs window, it matches this guy pretty close. And then I just painted this. I painted the edge so you can't see the black. And then I also distressed it again with the dry brush in here. So that's what I will do here. But then for drawing on the to make your window, you just follow along. Actually, you don't even need to do that. Paint the black on this, because you could just use the silver, because that'll hide it. Just go right at the edge, and it will just kind of make your line there. I'm going a little sideways on this too, so it makes it a little wider, the line, and that makes the window show up better. And then do the edge on the front like that. And then you make a sill, a window sill out of stone. Just like that. It's just a rectangle with rounded edges. And then I put little lines to show the distressing in the rocks that are used. So it looks kind of old. And then for the bricks, little not bricks, stones like this. So it's just another oblong rectangle. I could do a couple. Put the distress marks in them. They don't have to be perfect. They're just little lines. You could do some on the other side if you want. And do one on here. So there's that guy. I'll do it again on this one. Just so you get the idea. If you want, you can finish the inside, and it's like that. Here's the stone for the windowsill. And it doesn't have to be perfect. This is our art project. We're just having fun. Just put little dots in there too. So that's what that guy looks like. And I'll go ahead and finish these up a little more. At the end of the video, I will make the thumbnail the actual finished piece. So when you go to click on the video, it should be the very first thing that you see before you watch the video. Okay. To make the spire, this one I did the same way really. So I just kind of guessed about how far it was down from the other ones at the very beginning and just moved them down the same height. And then just left this open because I'll just draw on there. I'll probably put a vine on there or something. Oh, I can show you that. Okay. Here, we'll do it here. I'll start with some stones. And the reason I'm doing them in this pattern, how they're kind of on top of each other, if you ever look at brick, they're stacked. Every other one is on top of itself, on top of the other one. So if there was one more here, it would be like that. So next time you see some bricks, you can check that out and see if you recognize that. So since this one's a bigger piece, we can actually make more bricks on this one. Let's get some of this vine going in. I'm going to turn it over because when I start, the thickest part will be down at the bottom. So I'm going to start here. It's going to wind up and then go about there. And then all I'm going to do is put a line and a line backwards. A line could go forward. But you get the idea, they're kind of almost a diamond shape with a little curve. So this is all a lot of just shapes. And then as you get up to the top, you can start making them smaller because that's how they grow in life too. They're not always the same exact shape or size in real life either. Almost done. Smaller and smaller. That's it. So that's what the tower is going to look like. I might add a few more stones. You can go ahead and color or draw all the way around the back if you want to. I kind of drew a little bit on the sides. We'll add another stone here and here. And there. So you could even add more. You could color these if you want to, paint them. Crayon doesn't show up very well on black, so maybe if you use a light gray on your castle, then you could make different colors on top of that. I really would like to see what you guys do with this because it can be done several different ways. I'll show you how to, I'm gluing these together now. So they're going to look something like this. Just make sure that all of your triangles for your windows are matching. They're facing the same way. And then you take your glue gun. And I would start with one of these little guys. That way. And see, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to go on this side first. I'll move this guy. Get him propped up a little. There. So I'll use this marker, get him to stay there. And then I'll go on the side. Since I put this in line with this, that means that this one on the quarter side, if I just turn it a little bit, should match up to the right side or left side of this this tower, so that I will be able to stick it right there next to it. And when I stick this on, I'm going to stick it on and I'm going to turn it upside right so that it can actually, the bottoms can match up together the same height. Or actually, so they'll lay flat when you set them down like that when you go to stack everything. there. Come on, glue gun. Oh, goodness. Watch out for that. This is a pretty big glue gun, so you might not have this trouble, but it's kind of wanting to go all over or not. Got a couple seconds before this actually sets, so you kind of hurry up. Place it next to the other one. Set it up. Make sure they're matching as far as the touching the bottom. And then you can squeeze in there like this. Just be careful. It might be a little hot, but it shouldn't be too hot since you're only squeezing the cardboard and not touching the glue. And just give it a second and the glue will set. Okay, that's about it. There's that one. And then this guy next to here, and I'm just going to flip it a little. And I can go, since I did this kind of under there, I can go right about here for the glue. Just on the side of it. That one first squirt gets me. This is fairly new to me, this heat gun, so it really comes out of that one squeeze. Okay. You can, once it's set, then just pull off those stringies that it gives off. I'll check and make sure these are even. Doesn't have to be perfect. It'll look cute no matter what. So this will be a nice project to put on a table for Halloween or any time. You could add, if you have dragon figurines or something, you could add those. You could put pumpkins out front. You could put, maybe if you've got some Nightmare Before Christmas, little action figures or something. Knights, some of the Lego sets have knights and stuff in them. So that's what it looks like there. Get it in this viewer. So then the next thing that we're going to do is make this fire, or the cone-shaped roof, for the very top of the tower. I just took a paint palette. It's about 7 inches diameter. It'll fit on top of an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. You can go a little bit smaller, like maybe 6 3/4. But to get this size to fit onto here, I think that's more proportionate. So if you go a little smaller, it would actually be up a little higher, maybe like that. But this is about 7 inches. Turn it over and make a circle. Just trace it. Cut it out. A lot of roofs were made out of slate a long time ago. They still make slate roofs once in a while. It's really expensive now. So this, here's your circle. You can fold it in half. Just crease it with your finger. Hold it on the other side so it stays in place, kind of like a taco now. I usually make a crease with my thumbnail right there, and it just goes right on top. So now you have a spot, a line to follow for cutting. So you've got two. If you wanted to make this castle with two spires, you could put two on the inside, three on the inside, maybe one bigger here, and maybe two big ones out here. But, you know, sky's the limit. You guys can do all kinds of stuff with this. I'm going to use one right now and get my black marker again. So we used a Sharpie on the black, the silver Sharpie, because it shows up. I'm going to use this black one right now. You can use crayons, you can use just a pen, whatever. I just had some gray. I thought that that would go kind of well with my scheme here. What we're going to do is eventually just curl this up, and you can tape it or staple it right about there. And then what I'm going to do is draw shingles on here first. So I'm just going to do a few fish. And remember, you're going kind of in an arc, like fish scales. And you don't have to, like the stones, don't do them all, because it really, you kind of want to make it look haunted, so it's kind of falling apart, you know. It's not all together. Do a few more. Just use, bunch of use. Do a few more on that. And then when they overlap, you might lose a few, but that's okay. Do some up here. Okay. Couple more. There. Okay, I'm happy with that. Kind of looks like the top of a roof to me. So I'm going to curl it up. And I got the detail out here. If you overlap and you want to continue your pattern that's going behind the other part, just continue on like this. And then it's kind of messy there. Kind of like that. And then that would go that way. And then you might have another one. So I'm going to get the tape. And I'm going to tape it on the outside, because I'm pretty much done with that roof there. Now, I didn't tape the inside yet, but I'm going to check this, see if I like it. I think I do, so I think it's good. I'll tape the inside just so it doesn't come apart again. There. So, there's the roof. Spooky haunted house. Spooky castle. If you want to make these things stick together, you could use sticky tack, Put a little sticky tack on the top here, and then just smush it in there, and then it should stay. I'm not going to glue everything together because it's kind of hard to store this, and then it's also hard to get the candles underneath if you want to do that. So I'm not sticking it down. But you guys see this? Then this is going on top. Then our whole piece that we just made goes like this. And then, see if I can get a good picture for you. Oh, here, put these guys in too. These are just little candles, I think. They're at the dollar store too. I know I'm promoting the dollar store. Probably Meijer and Walmart too. You can make whatever shapes you want for the bottom. For the lava, I can show you that really quick. And then I'll get a good shot of the castle. And then I think that is everything. So I'm just going to use this board for a second just to get kind of like a palette going. I used red and yellow to make the orange there, but I didn't mix them together. Wow. Started with red. And I made a stream. Like that. And then I went in with this stain brush and I grabbed yellow and I started mixing that in. And that's it. I just left it so that you'd still see the yellow. If I kept going, it would just change to one color like that. So that's up to you. If you want to do the double dip there, then you'll get that. And then if you keep blending it, you'll get an orange color, a little variation of that red. That's it. Just remember to wash off your brush. Wipe it off a bunch. We'll wash it with hot soapy water. Scrub it in your hand a little bit. Make sure it's all completely clean. Lay it flat to dry. And that'll keep your brush going for a long time. And I'll close with hopefully a good shot of this castle. Thanks for joining us. Please like us and subscribe. Send us your comments and your pictures of your castle. And anything else, maybe any ideas that you might have too that you'd like to see. And there's the castle. There we go. Okay, thanks again, and we'll see you soon.